In the past, building a website was much simpler. Today, a website layout should adapt itself not only to computers, but also to mobile phones, tablets, and even your television. Even now, we are also looking at smartwatches, should also adapt to smartwatches. Making a website with an adaptable layout is also called responsive web design. So CSS media query is one of the most important parts of responsive web design. So we need to look at, if you're interested in creating a responsive web design, we now need to look at it and understand what media query is all about. Now, in this video, we are going to take a closer look at media queries and how to use them in CSS. Let's get right into this video. The question here now is, what is media query? A media query is a CSS feature that makes a web page adapt its layout to different screen sizes and media types. Now, let me show us an example of the media query layout, how it looks like. So if you're going to do something, let me just create a comment. So media queries layout samples. So I'll just come to the bottom. I'll do at media. Now, before you can start, you start with the at and media, and you can create. Now it comes with the media type. What's the media type? The media type and the condition of that media type. Then condition, I'm going to put up all the things that are meant to be there. Then the breakpoint. Now this is exactly how the media query should look like. At media type, and the condition. The condition is if it's a mobile phone, if it's a tablet, if it's a laptop. So we're going to break this down into the breakpoints and everything. I'm going to explain all this as we move along in this video. We can target different media types under a variety of conditions. Now, if the condition or media types meet, then they, for example, if we say if the mobile phone is not greater than 480 pixels, let the background color be red. But if the media type is between this breakpoint, let's say 481 pixels to 600 pixels, let the background be green. So what we are saying there now is, if you are using a tablet, for example, that falls between that range, for example, or a larger mobile phone, let the background be green. But if it's lesser, maybe for smaller mobile phones, let the background be red. So different media breakpoint, we have different targets, for it. The rules will be applied based on each of the breakpoints, right? I hope you, but don't worry, you will get it. But as soon as we move into the practicalities or how it works, I'm sure you are going to have a good pick or a better understanding of what it is. So now let's just move the syntax. Let's just go into the syntax and see the applications of how they work. Let's go into at media rule. What is at media rule? First, the first thing we do, you start defining media queries with at media. That's the at media rule, which is what we have done here. This is the at media rule. So this is at media rule. Sorry, I wanted to comment this out. So at media rule. So there's what we call at without this at media, you will not be able to do the breakpoints. So at media rule later include the CSS, just like what we have done. Now the media type here, there are several types of we have different types of media types. We have all. We have, oh, sorry, I have to do this. So we have all. We have screen, which is basically what we're going to use today. But screen just basically means screen. Your screen, your computer screen, your TV screens, all this. But all means, then we also have print. For those who are printing, we have I think braille. What's wrong with my screen? We also have braille. I think so. So we have print, but we have all. But most of the time, I like to. But if you don't specify anything and you just leave it at media and go straight into the condition, then it just picks the all at once, as it picks everything. But most of the time, for the sake of this class, we'll be using screen. For the sake of this class, we're going to use screen. Then the condition might now be what's this? What's the condition we are looking at? We're looking at the maximum. We're looking at maximum width of that app, of that system, or the phone. If it's a phone, if it's a mobile phone, the breakpoint will be maximum of 480 pixels. So what you're saying, oh sorry, when you do a screen, you have to put and. No, it will not work. So media screen and this 480 pixel, that you put your condition. Now what is the condition? For example, we say we want the font, we want the H1 to have a font size of 70 pixels for this breakpoint, or we might say maximum width 600 for this breakpoint. Or let's say, no, let's put it this way. Let's say body. The body. Then the background color. Let's change this. Background color to be light green or light blue. So you've seen it has now changed. So if I try to increase this above 600 pixel, that's gone above 600 pixel. So it's now changed back to white. So let's reduce this to 480. Let's see what happens. So 480. Now let's increase this. So when it gets to this point, that is above 481. So this above 480. So it takes you, it brings you down to, sorry, it gives you the background color of light blue. Now, since we applied a media query, it will change to the background color as soon as it reaches the maximum width of 480. You could also do it this way. You could also say, and minimum width 320 pixels. So it's looking at if the breakpoint is between 320 and 480. So it's 320 and 480. So this cannot be. Okay, let me go to inspect. So let's go to 480. So this is 480. So you are getting. So if I try to reduce it, it's two. But it goes. If it goes 320, so this is 320. If it goes lesser, it changes. If you try to increase it to 481, it gives you white back. So if I do dark blue, so it gives you this dark blue. Gives you the dark blue. I hope you are getting the way it works. So you can do minimum and maximum. So let's go on. And one point of note is that always put your media query at the end of your CSS file, assuming you are using just once this your main CSS. But I will not advise it to have your different media queries in the same CSS. I like to separate what I do. So basically what I will do here now is I will create another file. Say for example this mobile, I will call this mobile.css. Then sorry, let me go to this part and cut this out and paste it in the mobile. So I know I have my mobile breakpoint, and I'll go to my CSS and add it as, so let me just duplicate this line. So I'll add this as mobile. So you see now it's still working. So I like to separate them if I have to do it like this, but basically, but for me, when I do my job, I use SAS. So it's still virtually almost the same way. I just bring them in, but if I have to do it like this, I would like to separate the media queries. So if I have another one, say for tablet, I will do for tablets. So I might create a folder for my CSS files. I'll just call this CSS. Yep, CSS. So I'll just lift these two guys in there and put them there. So that's basically what I would do if I have to do. So everything is maintained from a folder, right? So now let's go. Let's move on. So what is the media types? What are the media types? If you don't apply, like I said earlier, a media type, the @media rule selects all types of devices by default. Assuming you don't put this. So it selects all by default. The prints. So the media types, you have, let me call out the media types for us. There are 4 categories of devices. We have all for all media types. We have print for printers. We have screen. It's going to be on the screen. I'm going to put them on the screen so you can look at them. We have screen for computer screens, tablet, and smartphones. And we have the speech for screen readers. That's the one I was calling Braille. It's actually speech for screen readers. I hope you get. Don't worry, all this will be put on the screen. You will see everything and take notes. Screen that reads out the page. So the speech part reads the page out loud for those that are not able to read. Like for example, the blind people. That was what I was calling Braille, but it's actually speech. So let's go up to the next point. The next area in the CSS media query is the breakpoint. The breakpoint is now I will call it the resolution. Like what I did here, the minimum width from 320 to 480. Those are the breakpoints. You are breaking it based on the categories or based on the mobile type you are using. So a breakpoint is a key to determine when to change the layout and adapt the new rule inside the media query. Okay, now visiting our former example like we had before. So if I remove this, let me remove this. And we just have only, what's wrong with you? Just have only this. So we have the @media rule. So on maximum width, you have 480. So @media, maximum width 480 pixels. So this for this state now, because I didn't specify screen, it's going to pick up everything. So let's cancel this body background and go to the HTML and create H1. I just call it this is Erden. So I come just remove this a little bit. So let's do H1 and the font size. I want the font size to be 70 pixels. So this is the size for mobile. So I might now do maybe another breakpoint. Let's create another one. I might call this file. Let's call this tablet, for example. .css So let me just copy this information. So we are doing, I might do here now, minimum width, say 481 pixels, right? And what's wrong here? And maximum width of maybe 768. So I want the font size to be 50 for the tablet. So let's add the tablet list. So just do this to tablet. Okay, now let's try to increase the width size to, what's that width size now? 481. So let's see if, see, that's reduced to 50. Why the other one is bigger? So let's take this one. Since the other one is 70, let's take this to 100. See how big it is. So based on your breakpoint you have, so you reduce this. For you to be obvious, let's add color to the second breakpoint. Let's say red. It gives you that red. So I just want to get that. So when you move up to 481 back, the other width size, it reduces and changes the color back to default. Are you seeing this now? So that's how the breakpoint. So you do for each of the breakpoints, you have to do a target. But it's easier to pick, but it takes time. But it's easier once you get a hang of it or get a hold of it. You are good and flying. Now the question someone asked me, one of my students asked me one time, what are the breakpoints? How do we go about these breakpoints? Are there standard breakpoints for media query? See, the problem here, which I remember telling him, I said that one of the problems here is that we have so many mobile applications or so many mobile phones. If you look at the Samsung, the iTel, the Google Pixels, we have iPhones, you have several of them. It will not be ideal trying to create breakpoints for each of the mobile each of the mobile phones. It will not be ideal at all. In short, you're going to start having stress. You're going to start stressing yourself out. So what do you do? There are some commonly used breakpoints in web development that I will share on the screen as we go on. Now let's see some common breakpoints for widths of devices. So let's go back to our main CSS. I'll just call these common breakpoints. Okay, right? So the first one is the 320 pixels to 480 pixels. So these ones are for mobile devices. So the second, let me remove the numbering. So the second one is 481 pixels to 768 pixels. So these ones are for iPads and tablets, right? So we have 769 to 1024 pixels. So these ones are for small screens. So 1025 pixels to 1200 pixels, 1200 pixels. So these ones are for desktops and large screens. Then we have 1201 pixels and above, So this can extra large screens and TVs. So hope you get that part. Should I use full stop here now? Okay, so this is your targets. So you are going to target mobile phones or mobile devices 320 to 480 pixels, iPads 481 to 768, 769 to 1024 pixels small screens, 1025 pixels to 1200 pixels desktops and large screens, 1201 pixels and above extra large screens, and TVs. So that's how you go about them. So you're going to create each, like I said earlier, it's better you create each file for each of them. So you're going to have five files for all this. So you might call them mobile, tablets, small. Instead of using small, I might call it SM. So it gives me SM. The other one will now be LG, large screen. Then we have XL, extra large. We are wrapping up this short video. Now, responsive design is a must in today's web design and development field. Media query is one of the most important aspects of it, because that is how you are going to, is one easy way for you to create responsive web design. Like there was a video I did several months back, or some of my earlier videos. I talked about those days of web development when there was nothing like responsive web design, there was nothing like media queries. We used tables to lay out our design, and then our targets was just basically desktops or laptops, the screen, the bigger screens. So we used table to lay out our design because it was huge. It was an uphill task trying to lay out your pages and try to meet up all, but tables help us to do, to help us to do all this. But by the time media queries, responsive web design started coming, because of the introduction or the inclusion of mobile phones, tablets, mobile devices, all that had to change and everything had to move on. So media code is one of the most important ways to help you achieve responsive web design. And I hope you find this video very helpful for understanding and how media queries work. So if you want to learn more about web design, feel free to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.